So the Four Foundations of Mindfulness refers to the Buddha's earliest teachings on the establishment of mindfulness practice. And broadly speaking, the four foundations are as follows. One is mindfulness of the body. Two is mindfulness of what we call feeling tone, and that refers to how each experience that we have falls somewhere on the pleasant to neutral to unpleasant spectrum. The third foundation is mindfulness of mental formations. This includes cognitions, moods, underlying psychological structures as they arise in awareness. And then the fourth foundation in the text is what's called mindfulness of Dhamma or Dharma. And this refers to sort of the deeper truths that characterize our experience of reality. The Satipatthana Sutta is part of what's known as the Pali Canon, and this is the earliest written, recorded version of the Buddha's teachings, which was for 500 years after his death kept alive as an oral tradition. Pali is a language that comes out of India and is very closely related to Sanskrit. And the Satipatthana Sutta is the sutta in which the Buddha gives his discourse on the establishment of the foundations of mindfulness. So one of my intentions with this course is to uncover the really rich modern relevance of this very ancient text. This text is over 2,000 years old. And one of my favorite things about the text is that it continues to feel very relevant and fresh and applicable to the issues and concerns and anxieties and afflictions that we experience as modern human beings. And part of what I'm very excited to do in this course is to explore how this text still feels relevant, or perhaps how it doesn't, and to help that inform our awakening practice. This course is absolutely suitable for beginners. In some ways, it's designed for beginners. And I mean that broadly. You know, all of us, I think, should endeavor to become beginners, to cultivate what in the Zen tradition is called beginner's mind. But despite this sort of ancient and esoteric jargon like Satipatthana Sutta and Pali Canon and everything, this is the Buddha's teachings on mindfulness to people who are not yet instructed in mindfulness. So this is in some ways the perfect place for a beginner meditator to start. Absolutely. I think that experienced meditators can get a lot out of either encountering for the first time or refreshing their knowledge on the four foundations of mindfulness. I've been meditating for a long time myself, and every time that I return to the Satipatthana Sutta, I find new meaning, new treasures inside the text, new ways to interpret the words and to engage with the teachings. Absolutely not. This training was given by the Buddha to the people who were his contemporaries. At that time, Buddhism, as we understand the word to mean in the religious sense, did not exist. It was the Buddha's disciples and students were a community of practitioners, people who were interested in using the skill set of mindfulness to liberate themselves and others from suffering. And so this is appropriate for people who are Buddhist or not Buddhist, who have never heard of Buddhism. Just because we are using the Buddha's teachings does not necessarily mean that this is in any way a dogmatic or religious offering. I could go into a lot of detail about this one, but the answer is absolutely yes. Mindfulness is compatible with many other spiritual traditions. Awareness training is a foundational aspect of a lot of spiritual practices. And mindfulness has also become an increasingly recognized skill set in therapeutic and clinical settings with a lot of research to back it. So this is perfect for someone who's in therapy or is looking to polish those mindfulness skills. So I do like to keep things a little bit fluid and dynamic and responsive in my classes, so this is subject to change, but in general, we'll be spending some time going over the Satipatthana Sutta, might give some short talks about the different foundations of mindfulness. We will spend times in formal meditation practice, and then there will be opportunities for discourse, unpacking, group discussion, and also perhaps some small group or partner work as well. It's my intention to offer about 25 to 30 minutes of formal meditation per class. Dialogue is a huge part of learning, and it's one of my favorite parts of a course or a class like this. Not only will there be opportunities for peer discussions, but also question and answer periods as well. Yes, it is my intention to at least create audio recordings of the sessions so that anyone who can't attend for one or more sessions can still benefit. Honestly, this is my favorite thing about the 4 Foundations of Mindfulness. It is a broadly applicable teaching. Mindfulness is made to come off of the cushion into life with us. It's an energy and a technique that we can apply to theoretically any area of our life, and has, in my experience, the tendency to improve every area of life that we bring it to. Yes, one of the things that we do know about mindfulness practice is that its benefits improve greatly with daily practice. And so, although I can't make you meditate between sessions, I'm going to strongly encourage you to develop or strengthen an at-home meditation practice in between sessions using the skills and teachings that we review during the course. The Buddha offered these teachings during a time in his era and his environment of great political, philosophical, and social upheaval. And it still has the power to address suffering as we see it arise in our world today. One way that we can start to skillfully respond to the suffering that we encounter in the world is to become ourselves more non-reactive, wiser in our choices, our behavior, our communication, more in touch with our own mind and how it is conditioned by the world around us, to get free from some of that conditioning and to start responding creatively and spontaneously to the needs of the beings with whom we share this planet. And mindfulness is, or can be at least, nearly miraculous in its capacity to help us along these lines. So I want to be conservatively realistic in responding to this question and say that what someone can really, that almost anyone can expect to gain from this course is knowledge of a skill set, of a technique that when practiced with commitment and devotion and some amount of discipline, whether in a formal practice or in everyday life, can lead to alleviation of suffering, freedom from anxieties and other mental afflictions, and an increased capacity for spaciousness of mind and responsiveness of heart. To put it simply, the 4 Foundations of Mindfulness and mindfulness training in general has greatly reduced the amount of suffering that I experience personally and also that I perceive putting out into the world. Like many people, I experienced a significant portion of my earlier life caught in patterns of reactivity and addiction and anger and anxiety and depression with no real toolkit to relate to that experience skillfully, to work with that experience skillfully. And I've noticed over years of mindfulness practice a real reduction in sort of the internal claustrophobia that comes with mental and psycho-emotional affliction. I feel like it is part of an ongoing process of becoming more aligned with a world free from suffering and a version of myself that is in integrity with not only my own values, but the needs of the world around me.